FIFA didn't just expand the World Cup to 48 teams for 2026, they fundamentally rewrote the very DNA of global football's greatest spectacle, guaranteeing more drama, more nations, and an entirely new competitive landscape that will reshape football as we know it forever. This isn't just an adjustment, it's a seismic shift, a complete paradigm change designed to unlock unprecedented revenue, elevate new footballing nations, and push the limits of player endurance, all while delivering a tournament of truly epic proportions across North America. For decades, the World Cup had a familiar rhythm: 32 teams, 8 groups of 4, straightforward progression. It was a formula etched into the minds of every football fan. But FIFA, under Gianni Infantino, looked at that model and saw not perfection, but untapped potential. They saw a chance to open the gates, to bring more of the world into the world's biggest party. The move to 48 teams was approved in 2017, driven by a vision of greater inclusivity and, let's be honest, significantly greater financial rewards. The sheer scale of that decision sent shockwaves through the footballing world. Initially, the plan for this expanded tournament was to divide those 48 teams into 16 groups of 3. Think about it, 16 mini-leagues. The top 2 from each group would advance to a colossal round of 32. On paper, it seemed neat, efficient, a way to accommodate the extra teams without an unmanageable number of matches. But almost immediately, the footballing community smelled a rat. Pundits, coaches, and fans alike raised red flags about the integrity of that third group game. With only 2 teams guaranteed to progress, the final match of each group risked becoming a conspiratorial dead rubber, where 2 teams could, theoretically, play for a result that suited them both, potentially eliminating an innocent bystander before they even kicked a ball. Remember the infamous disgrace of Jihan from 1982? FIFA certainly did, and the pressure mounted. Then came the unexpected, brilliant pivot. After the undeniable success and nail-biting drama of the 4-team group format at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, particularly the tension of the final group stage matches, FIFA had an epiphany. Why fix what wasn't broken, even if it meant more games? In a crucial decision, they scrapped the controversial 3-team group idea and reverted to the beloved and competitive 4-team group structure. This wasn't just a tweak, it was a full-blown tactical retreat from an unpopular idea, replaced by a bolder, more thrilling vision. So, the new format for 2026 is this. 48 nations will be split into 12 groups of 4. From each of these 12 groups, the top 2 teams will automatically qualify for the knockout stage. But here's the twist, the layer of complexity that keeps everyone on the edge of their seats. The 8 best third-place teams across all 12 groups will also advance. Suddenly, every single goal, every single yellow card, every single tackle, even in a losing effort, could be the difference between elimination and an improbable journey into the knockout rounds. This keeps virtually every team alive until the very last whistle of the group stage. This change alone fundamentally alters the competitive landscape. With 104 matches spread across 39 days, up from the traditional 64 games in 29 days, the 2026 World Cup becomes an endurance race as much as a football tournament. We're talking about an entire additional round of knockout football before we even get to the round of 16. This is the new round of 32, a spectacle in itself, where some of the world's giants could clash early, or underdog stories could truly ignite before the traditional main event. It adds more high-stakes, win-or-go-home moments, which is exactly what fans crave. Now, let's talk about the colossal elephant in the room, money. This expansion is an unprecedented financial goldmine for FIFA. An additional 40 matches means exponentially higher broadcasting rights fees. More nations participating means more global interest, driving up sponsorship deals and merchandise sales. Projections estimate FIFA could rake in an additional $1 to $2 billion in revenue from this expanded format. For a governing body that thrives on the distribution of wealth to its member associations, this influx of cash is undeniably a powerful motivator, fueling development projects and infrastructure worldwide. Beyond the billions, this is a golden ticket for smaller footballing nations. Countries that have historically struggled to break through the qualification barrier now have a tangible pathway to the World Cup stage. Think about the likes of Burkina Faso, Uzbekistan, Panama, or even nations like Finland or Venezuela, who have never tasted World Cup football. The dream isn't just a dream anymore, it's a realistic aspiration. Imagine the joy, the national pride, the transformative effect on youth football in a country making its World Cup debut. That's an intangible benefit that far outweighs any criticisms of dilution. But every rose has its thorns, and this expansion is no exception. The most vocal concern revolves around player welfare. An extended tournament, more matches, more travel across three vast host nations, USA, Canada, Mexico, it all adds up to increased physical and mental strain on the world's elite athletes. Players like Kevin De Bruyne, Kylian Mbappe, and managers like Pep Guardiola have already voiced their concerns about calendar congestion and the risk of burnout and injury. Club owners, too, will be wary of their star players returning exhausted or worse, injured just weeks before the start of their domestic seasons. Is the spectacle worth the potential human cost? The tactical implications for coaches are also immense. Navigating a group stage where third place can still mean progression opens up entirely new strategic dimensions. Do you go all out for wins or play a slightly more conservative game, aiming to accumulate points and a decent goal difference, knowing that a third place finish might still be enough? It means that even a struggling team might have a lifeline, preventing early eliminations from dampening the tournament's overall excitement. The margin for error might seem larger, but the pressure to perform consistently across all three group games will be intense, as even one poor result could drastically alter your standing. The co-hosting nations, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, face an unprecedented logistical challenge, but also an unparalleled opportunity. Spanning three countries with travel distances that dwarf previous World Cups, the organization requires meticulous planning and coordination. Yet, for North America, this is a chance to ignite footballing passion on an entirely new scale. The US, in particular, has long been considered a sleeping giant in the football world. Hosting the biggest World Cup ever, with potentially record-breaking attendance figures and a truly diverse range of nations participating, could be the catalyst that finally propels football into the mainstream consciousness there. Ultimately, the 2026 World Cup is a grand experiment. FIFA has gambled on expansion, on more games, more teams, and a longer spectacle, believing that the benefits of inclusivity and revenue will outweigh the challenges of player welfare and logistical complexity. Will this monumental shift dilute the quality of the tournament, spreading the talent too thin? Or will it unearth new footballing giants, inspire millions more around the globe, and deliver a more diverse, more dramatic, and ultimately more memorable World Cup than anything we've ever witnessed? One thing is certain, for 2026, the beautiful game is about to get a whole lot bigger, bolder, and completely unrecognizable in the best possible way. The stage is set for a truly historic era in football.